Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and as you can see on the table there is again, as always, a huge variety from a lot of vintage Seikos to some weird Panerai homage thing that I just thought was really cool and I thought I'd bring to you guys, to a full set 2004/5 Rolex Explorer, a Reverso, two Nomoses, a Habring. We've got everything today and I'm really excited to bring you this drop. And as always, if you want to skip to a specific watch, down in the description there is a timestamp to each single watch you see on the table. There's also a link to the website to take you directly to that watch where the price and all the details will be stated. We try and cover the watches in sort of general terms here in this video, and just sort of go over all the basic details and give my opinion, but for the most part, for all the detailed stuff, it's over on the website. And on that point, I want to say a big thank you, because again, another incredible week, and you guys and girls are just surprising me every single week. And I know I keep saying it, but that's because it really is the case, and I am super thankful. Now, I know for the past, 2 weeks now, I've been teasing some big news, something that I'm working on. Unfortunately, again, in this video, I can't really state what it is. Actually, you know what? I'm going to. The reason being, today I'm recording this on Tuesday, so I'm doing this really in advance because we are just so busy at the moment with everything else. I am working on a new office space. So for those of you who have been to this office, it's very functional, it's quite small, but it does the job, and it has been a huge stepping stone to the next steps. Also, apologies if I'm very out of breath and quite sweaty. It is boiling in the UK at the moment. So I'm about to sign a lease probably today or the end of this week. I'm going to agree on all the terms today, and probably at the end of the week sign everything over. So, new office space. Now, in terms of location, we are still going to be in Clerkenwell. We're actually going to be pretty close to where we are right now. In terms of space, it's going to be 250 square feet, which, for those of you who know office space, it's still not very big, but it is a lot bigger than this, and we're going to work that space to the inch. You know, we're going to make sure everything is as perfect as it can be. Now, in terms of funding that, I was hoping not to do it with cash flow, because at the end of the day, we need money in the bank to buy stock. But through a series of events, it's going to have to be done that way. So it does mean it might take a little bit longer to be to the standard where I am truly happy with it. However, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, stroke month, maybe 2 months, I'll be officially in there operating from there. So it will be ready for you guys to come and see. As I said, I don't think it will be at the standard where I want it to be just quite yet. It might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. If you guys and girls keep buying at the rate you are, we'll get it done within no time. So again, thank you for the support, and that is the big news, a better, nicer office space, which is going to be incredible. Now, before we flip the camera around and take a look at all the watches, what is on wrist? Well, I am wearing my personal Fizz Brunswick Brown, one of 5 watches in the world. Probably the nicest Brunswick so far, in my opinion. I really love the platinum, but this is the one. We sold a couple of Brunswicks recently. Don't forget, we are a stockist of Fizz, meaning you can buy a Fizz watch from us. We can have it delivered to you. We can deal with everything. So just let us know if there's a Fizz you would like. Get in contact via email, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever works for you. All the modes of communication are in the description or on the website, so go check them out. But that is all out the way, and we're gonna have to start with these incredible watches. You know, I'm gonna start with the basic, if you can call it that, but one that I absolutely love. It is the Rolex Explorer, a forever classic with the Rolex Explorer, and everybody knows it, including Rolex, and that is why they have bought this beauty back. Now, for those of you who remember, last week we had the brand new 36mm unworn example in stock. That sold insanely quick, and we managed to get one of these, a full set 114270, so the final 36mm solid end link reference, before they discontinued this and brought out the 39mm. But we managed to get one of these in stock, and we also have got another 36mm brand new unworn example in the latest reference, the 214270. So get in contact if you're looking for the newer version of this. I suspect it won't hang around long, but anyway, we have this one for you today that we're going to talk about. This is, as I said, the 36mm Explorer. This is personally my favorite 36mm Explorer, even including the new one. I think the new one's fantastic, but there's a definite different sort of charm with this one. This is the 114270, so for those of you who know your Explorer references, As I said, this makes it the final 36mm Explorer with the solid end links. Obviously, you've got sapphire crystal, you've got all the bells and whistles of a modern Rolex, really, just with the old style pressed metal clasp. which isn't really that terrible. Inside here is the automatic Rolex caliber 3130, and this is an F serial, which dates it to 2004. But the papers are signed January 2005. This isn't uncommon for a watch serial to date it into a different year, previous year, than what it sold. Because back in the day, believe it or not, they used to sit around for a little while. I mean, I know we can't envision that now with Rolex, but they used to. So that is why the F serial and papers are slightly different. But either way, really great condition. As I said, it comes with its full box and paperwork, including swing tags and spare links. This is a complete set, and you just don't find them like this anymore. So this is your perfect opportunity to get yourself a 114270, still for a fair price, because they are climbing and they're not slowing down. So go check this one out on the website and see all the details, the condition, but let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. I think everyone knows by now this is 36mm by 44mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 20mm lugs. It is the perfect everyday watch in my opinion, and one that I still wish to own one day. Maybe not anytime soon, but in the future I think there will definitely be a Explorer in the personal collection, so go check this one out. From the Rolex Explorer, we're going to keep on the top here. Let's have a look at this awesome Reverso. Next up, another fan favorite, the Rolex, here we go. The JLC Reverso, a really lovely example. And this is actually the Reverso Classic Large Duo Face, as it's called. And even though this is the large, it's not the biggest of the lot. And I think it's actually very well proportioned. So usually for me, rectangle watches, the smaller the better. However, this one has surprised me. So the reason it's called a duo face and a reverso, if you don't know, is because the watch reverses around. And this has two faces, duo face. You can see it's got the day-night indicator there on the black dial. Really nice sword hands, luminous, you know, very nice. And then you've got the elegant Reverso on the other side, the one we all sort of know and love. I think it's perfect. You sort of get two watches within one, right? And that's kind of the appeal. Obviously, the history goes all the way back to polo players. Rather than taking off your watch, they invented a watch that when you flipped it over, it was a plain steel back to protect cracking the crystal. I mean, you know, because taking off your watch was just like something you couldn't do. But anyway, so the reference to this one is JLQ 3848420, and inside here is a manually wound JLC caliber 854A/2. This example is from June 2018. It does come with its full box and papers. You can see you've got the original strap here, and it does come with spare straps, including a JLC pin buckle. Right now you can see it's paired on the deployant. I'm personally not a big fan of deployants, but I know a lot of you guys and girls are. So you have both options, which is fantastic. And all straps that are included are original JLC straps as well. But really stunning details, really stunning dial. Personally, the white dial was my favourite of the lot, but hey, each to their own. So let's try it on wrist and talk dimensions. And this is where it's surprising. So I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and I would happily wear this size, even though it's nicknamed the large. It is 28mm by 46.8mm lug to lug, so right under that 50mm lug to lug sweet point I always go on about. Only 10mm thick and 20mm lug, so endless options if you're not a fan of all the JLC straps it comes with. I'll be surprised if you're not, but there you go. Really stunning on wrist and very comfortable, and even able to flip it around on wrist nice and easy. There you go. What would be your dial choice? Let me know down in the comment section. From there to probably my favourites Habring we've had so far, that is this awesome Habring Felix Chrono. And here we go, as I said, my favourite Habring we have had so far. Really interesting company, one worth reading up on, and I think they're still one of the hidden gems. You know, with independent brands going sky high at the moment, Habring is still one of those brands that you can find pre-owned under retail. And I've got to be honest, I don't know how long that will last. Obviously, none of us have a crystal ball, none of us know the future, but I really do believe independents are the future, and I think brands like Habring are one of those brands that are going to really take the sort of sky high levels in the future. This is called the Chrono-Felix, and it is the salmon dial, and as you can see, it's a chronograph with a single chrono button, which is called a mono pusher, all through a single pusher. So start, stop, and then reset all through one. Really nice and simple. And that salmon dial, as you can see, the textures are stunning. This is where the highlight is for me. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So this one is from 2020. It does come with its box and paperwork. You can see it paired on this really gorgeous distressed strap with a Original Habring deployant, again not biggest fan of deployants, but this one is really comfortable. An exhibition case back showcasing the Habring caliber A11C-H1. So these are sort of in-house movements, as they say, but I think they are sort of modified versions of things, heavily modified. I mean, if you take a closer look at that movement, you can see that is very, very, very well modified and changed, but really beautifully done. Incredible watches, and let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions, and you can see where this watch really shines. And here we go on wrist. Again, another watch I would happily own, and this is perfect on wrist at 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 20mm lugs. So again, if you're not a fan of the strap, not to worry, you've got endless options. But I think it suits the salmon dial really well. I think salmon is super hot at the moment and isn't going anywhere. I suspect we're going to see it for many more years. And obviously we've seen it in the past with vintage watches as well, but it's good to see it come back, so go check it out. And we've got two Nomos in the house. Let's have a look at the 18 karat gold Lambda. Next up is a surprising one, and one you really don't see often in the watch world, especially on the pre-owned market, and that is this gorgeous Nomos Lamda 39 18 karat rose gold power reserve. As you can see, this is quintessential Bauhaus design, which obviously Nomos are famous for. Bauhaus design obviously coming from Glashütte, and this is what they do. Really, really stunning, really elegant, really simple, but still absolutely beautiful. So the specific reference to this one is the 953, and this is from January 2017 with its full box and paperwork. And as you can see, it is 18 karat rose gold or pink gold, whatever you want to call it, original 18 karat gold buckle. It is stunning, and then you flip it around and you're presented with a very German movement, beautifully decorated. This is the manually wound Nomos DUW 1001 as it's known. Absolutely stunning. You can see this is the original Nomos strap. It has been worn, so maybe a new strap down the road would be required, but either way, completely original, and that movement is the highlight. I mean, you could wear it either way. It's one of those watches. On the front, it is absolutely gorgeous and stunning and simple, and on the back they've applied that same level of detail and that same level of simplicity, but done it so well. You've got a signed Nomos crown there, again 18 karat pink gold or rose gold. This is a worn watch, but it's in very good condition all considered, because it has been very well looked after. But let's put it on wrist, talk dimensions, because again, this is where this watch really comes to life. And here we go. So the Lambda 39, the reason it's called that is because it's 39mm, and it is 9mm thick and 20mm lug tips. So there you go, endless options on straps. It wears super comfortably on wrist and just looks fantastic. One definitely worth checking out if you're looking for an 18 karat rose gold watch that is slightly different from the norm, something you will not see out and about, if ever, really. This is that watch for you, so go check it out. From the Lambda to the Ahoy, let's take a closer look at this one. Next is another Nomos. Whilst very, very different to the last, it still resembles a lot of the same similarities in its simpleness of design. The reason being, again, Nomos, the masters of Bauhaus design. This is the Nomos Ahoy Atlantic Datum Automatic, and the reference is 553, and just really, really cool. Circa 2016-17 with its box and paperwork, signed screw down crown. You see you've got the dates down there at 6 o'clock. Very well incorporated, and with the same color tone as the dial and the indices, which are really gorgeous, elongated Art Deco numerals, simple luminous hands. It's just a great watch. This is considered to be their dive watch, which is kind of cool. You can see it comes on this fabric sort of NATO style two-piece with its signed buckle. It just looks great, and you flip it over and you're presented with a very nicely decorated automatic Nomos caliber DUW 5101. There isn't really an awful lot to say about this watch other than the blue, which it is, if you haven't noticed. It is such a dark navy blue that in most lights it looks black. Now that is either something you really like or you really dislike. Personally, I think it's very well done, and I think it looks fantastic. The pops of colours contrast nicely, and that's one thing Nomos get very, very well done. The lugs are these elongated angular lugs, very, very thin. Again, it just makes the watch appear like it's just the head of the watch, and then you've got these little lugs hanging off. It does make it wear very comfortably on wrist, even though it is a slightly bigger watch. Let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions, and you can see what I mean. And here we go. As I said, a bigger watch, but still wears really well at 40mm by 51mm lug to lug. 11mm thick and 20mm lugs. Again, endless options on the straps. Pinholes in the lugs to make it super easy to swap out the straps at will, but still a very comfortable dive watch. You've got the fabric strap. I guess this would make a great holiday watch as well, because at the end of the day you haven't got to worry about it. You can jump in the pool, but also it's a brand that not a lot of people will know, so in terms of security and being safe, you will be fine with this, so go check it out. Now we're on to some of the crazy watches, some of the vintage and fun and funky stuff that I've managed to find. Let's first take a look at the Citizen Ballhead. So a lot of you will know I love Japanese brands. My first ever true automatic watch was actually a vintage Citizen, and I still own it today. I think they're fantastic, and the Ballhead range is one of my favorites. With the Seiko Ballhead reaching sort of crazy high numbers recently, and it doesn't show any sign of slowing down, I think the next thing to sort of go that way, unfortunately, will be the Citizen. So now is the time to find a very nice example, and luckily for you, we have one here. This is the Citizen Ballhead chronograph. The reference is 67-9020. And inside here is the automatic Citizen caliber 8110A. It's from circa 1970s. You can see everything signed correctly on the back. And the reason these are called the Ballhead, in case you haven't figured out, is you've got the two chrono pushers on the top. Still function the same way, it just makes it look like a Ballhead. So you've got the start and stop on this chrono button right here, and then reset with that one that you have to push down. Super simple, super nice, stainless steel with this black rubber painted gasket kind of thing that holds the crystal in, which is quite a high crystal, as you can see. Really stunning silver dial, I guess you'd call it a panda, with the black, and you can see you've got the highlights of red. Right now the date is on Sunday in Japanese, so there you go, you can see it's also in red. I think it's a very good looking watch, a lot of nice contrast. We've paired it on this nice black suede strap, which I think suits it really, really well. But these are fantastic, and a lot of watch for the money. The fact you're getting a full 12-hour chronograph for this kind of money in a vintage watch with this kind of design, I think it's fascinating. But let's try it on wrist and talk dimensions. And this is where it gets really interesting in the way it wears. So as you know, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and this is 38mm by 41.5mm. So it's like a cushion oblong, I don't know what you'd call it. It's quite a unique design. 13.5mm thick and 18mm lugs, so again, endless options on straps, but I think this combination works really, really well. Hell of a lot of watch for the money. As I said, getting an automatic chronograph vintage for this kind of price, you know, the Japanese just do it very, very well. So go check it out, see the closer details, and why not treat yourself today? From one Japanese brand to another, we have a lot on of the table. If that, no, that didn't come out right, did it? Oh well, I'm gonna carry on. Let's have a look at the Seiko UFO. I love Seiko. It is no secret. Anyone who knows me knows this. I have owned most Seikos there are to own over the years. Unfortunately, they don't usually stick in my collection for long, but I do really enjoy them. This is a model I have had a few times, and I'm always amazed every time I get one in because I just love them. They're brilliant. This is called the Seiko 5 UFO, and the UFO is obviously a nickname due to the case shape. You can see this really interesting circular disc UFO shape. You can see the dial is really nice with the black and the blue and the orange highlights, and you can see you've got an inner bezel right there. So when the crown is just in its neutral position, turning that will change the bezel. So it's great to see this actually working. Some of them don't have this anymore, so it's nice to see. When you pull out the crown, you're actually in time changing mode, and to change the day and date, you actually push it in all the way with the crown. Let me make sure I'm not in the date change position already. No, I'm not, so we can do it. Ready? We'll push it in. If you push it in just like that, you see, you change the date. The day you have to do manually, so you have to go around until you're on the right day, and then change the date via pushing that in. Super simple, super easy. And the reference to this one, so let's talk all the details as usual. This is a 6119-6400, that's the movement and case number. And that means inside here is the automatic Seiko caliber 6119. You see all the details on the back. The serial number is what allows you, along with the case reference and the movement, to date the watch. So this is August 1973, which is super cool. And this is my first one I've had on its original bracelet. Now, these bracelets aren't particularly that great. They are flimsy, they don't feel particularly reassuring, but it's nice to have. And at the end of the day, there's some charm to these sort of bracelets. You can swap it out onto a rubber strap. That is what I've had them all on in the past. Black rubber straps, they look brilliant. But let's try it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. So this was a big watch for the time, and this bracelet is massive as well, so it will fit pretty much anyone out there. You've got 43mm by 43mm, again that perfect UFO style shape, 14mm thick and 19mm lugs. A little bit awkward on the lug width, but the fact you've got the bracelet, you just need to get the strap and you're all good to go. Super interesting design, one of my favorites from vintage Seiko, so go check it out on the website and snag yourself a good deal. From the Seiko UFO to probably one of the nicest Lordomatics I've seen in a while. Let's take a look at that. Another awesome Seiko, and again on its original bracelet. This is really, really nice. This is a Seiko Lordomatic JDM because it's a Japanese domestic market reference, and the reference is 5606-700. That means inside here is the automatic Seiko caliber 5606, a very well-known reliable workhorse. And as you can see from the case back, this is a monocoque case, meaning it's all made of one piece. You have to take out the crown and go through the crystal to get to the movement. Interesting design. A lot of brands have done this. It just helps with overall water resistancy. And just things like that, really. You can see really simple, elegant design on the dial. You've got the Japanese date wheel there as well, which is nice to see. I think these are fantastic, especially with Grand Seiko and King Seiko going a bit crazy at the moment. We've had some in and they've just flown out at incredible prices. These can still be had for great prices, and they're still incredible watches. And the fact that Seiko had set up all these different departments that were basically competing with each other is fascinating. Really nice crown you can see there, and the bracelet, again, these aren't particularly well built, but they're comfortable. Nice Seiko clasp there. You can see it's almost like a Jubilee style bracelet. Just really well done, really comfortable on wrist, and just a great design. But let's put it on wrist and let's talk dimensions. And here we go, again a big bracelet, and I almost forgot to say when this watch is from. This is from June 1969, so probably it's actually the earliest watch we have on the table at the moment. But let's talk dimensions. So 35.5mm by 40mm lug to lug, 9.5mm thick and 19mm lugs. The perfect vintage Seiko to really enjoy, you know, dress it up on a strap or wear it on this bracelet. There are so many options with this watch, and I do believe these are going to be one of the ones to start climbing in price. You know, they've already gone up a lot compared to where they used to be, especially for a nice example like this. But there's still room to go, in my opinion, just based on the market with Seiko and vintage Seiko. So go check it out. From there to the most awesome pop of blue I've seen on a vintage watch, this Seiko blue dial. I saw this and I just had to have it. So I've had this model before, but not in this vibrant blue, and I really, really love it. If only I'd wear vintage Seiko more personally, I would keep some of these watches, and that's for sure. This is the Seiko 5 automatic blue square, as I've called it, on a bracelet. The reference to this one is a 6119-8490, which means inside here is the automatic caliber 8119. You can see really nice condition overall on this. You've got a lot of those original nice lines, and the highlight is, there's no question about it, it's that dial. It's that vibrant blue dial with that pop of orange. You've got that blue outer ring on the bezel. It's just really stunning, especially with the shape of the case, the recessed crown. It just allows for really nice flow of design. I think Seiko really knew what they were doing back in the day, and they still do to some degree, but back in the day they obviously made far superior watches, in my opinion. Based on the reference and the serial, this is from June 1972, which makes it even more special to think a watch of this kind of design came out of 1972. You can see original bracelet, just like the others, not particularly that great, but the fact it is this original bracelet and it is the integrated design is really nice to see. Now, I do know someone who owns this watch, this same reference, and they've had a custom strap made because the lug width there is quite short and it flares out. So I've had someone basically have a custom strap made in blue, which looks fantastic on the watch. But let's try this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And again, really nice to see a bigger bracelet, so it will fit most people's wrists. But there we go, on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I love this. This is 38mm by 39mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 18mm lugs in between those bars right there, which flares out to about a 24, I want to say. It could be a bit bigger, but yeah, definitely consider a custom strap option if you do want to wear this on leather. However, the bracelet's comfortable, it looks really cool, and I think this is just a fantastic watch, especially when you see the price. I think it might surprise a lot of you guys and girls, especially with how much modern Seiko are, and there's these fantastic options in the vintage world. So go check this one out. From there to a forever classic, it is the Seiko Orange Monster. Another forever forever classic from Seiko. One, you either love it or you hate it. Incredibly Marmite. I've owned multiple and I really do love them. They've grown on me. I never used to like them, but now I think they're fantastic. And as I said, I've owned a couple. This is the Orange Monster, and this is actually the first generation, the SKX 781 as it's known, which is a 7S260350, which means beating away inside is a automatic Seiko 7S26. So no hand winding, no hacking. You have to do the Seiko shuffle to get it going, basically, which is a little shake like this. There you go. So screw down crown, rotating bezel, which has the grip points that are located here to make it nice and easy. If you try turning it in other places, it will be a bit difficult, but in that place it is very, very easy. Really interesting sword hands, batten indices. They did a later generation with shark tooth indices, as it's often referred to, but this is the first generation, the true Orange Monster. You see it comes on its original bracelet, signed clasp, and it does come with a box. It doesn't unfortunately come with any paperwork, but it does have a modern Seiko box. And this one is from April 2002, again based on the serial and the reference numbers. But let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions. And this one is probably one of the biggest bracelets I've ever seen. You could fit another wrist in there, it's mad. So if you have a big wrist, you'll be fine, you can wear this. It is 42.5mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, 12.5mm thick and 20mm lug. So whilst it looks like a beast on the wrist, it is super comfortable, and Seiko really know how to make big watches wear well on the wrist. And super comfortable at that. These are brilliant. You either love them or you hate them. Which side are you on? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know down in the comment section. And then to the final but most interesting potentially Seiko on the table, the Asymmetric. Now how funky is this thing? This is a Seiko Asymmetric with a electric blue dial, which you really have to get in the light and then it just pops. Super simple. Seiko with an interesting square batten up there at 12, white sword hands, and this really interesting case shape with an interesting bracelet to match. I mean, you can see this thing is just a bit weird, it's a bit bonkers, and I kind of love it. It reminds me of the Jaeger era of Seiko, where Jaeger, the designer, who also designed the Seiko Ripley watch, by the way, was doing these really interesting, funky things, and Seiko have clearly always been about that. Now, the reference to this one is the 11-4230, and that means inside it's a manually wound Seiko caliber 11A. This dates to March 1975, which probably isn't a surprise based on the design. It is very obviously 1970s. Really interesting. Won't be for everyone, and I suspect the person who ends up buying this probably won't even wear it that much because it is very, very unique. Now, today it was obviously a gents watch, and I still think today is definitely a gents watch. However, I know some ladies out there will absolutely love this. I know my partner, she thinks it's brilliant, and I can see why you've got Seiko on the bracelet there as well. But let's try it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. So 6 3/4 inch wrist, it will fit. We have no spare link, so if you have a bigger wrist, I'm afraid we won't be able to get the links for you because it seems nearly impossible to. But a really interesting design. 32.5mm by 27.5mm lug to lug. Now I've done that based on that dimension, but something you have to consider is the design of the bracelet makes this a bracelet that happens to have a watch on it, basically. So it wears very well, all considered. Only 8mm thick and 18mm lugs. That's the actual distance of the lugs right there, not the flare out on the first link, so something to keep in mind. But a really interesting design, something that really won't be for everyone, and that is one thing Seiko have always done really well. But go check it out on the website. And last but certainly not least, a bit of a mystery watch, but a really cool watch nonetheless. That is this, what I've called PAM Homage, because it looks kind of like a Panerai. So let's take a look. So what on earth is this thing, and why have I brought it to the website, and why did I buy it in the first place? I don't really know. I saw it in a cabinet and I thought it was really funky and cool. The person couldn't tell me anything about it. I can't find anything out about it, but you know what? For the price it is, I think it's a hell of a lot of watch, and it looks really cool. Now, the reason I picked it up, you've got that white dial, those interesting hands, those Roman numerals, you've obviously got this Panerai case, and the engraving is incredible. I mean, I don't know how they've done it, but for the price, I have no idea. You see even the crown, which is, by the way, a screw down crown, and it works nicely. You can see you unscrew it and you wind the movement and put it back down, and there we go. But a really, really great looking watch for someone who wants this kind of engraved style. And you can see, you have to excuse the noise, good old Clerkenwell, always crazy. And you can see the buckle has even been engraved, which is just insane to see. Definitely won't be for everyone, but the person who likes that panerai look or something just really different, really unique, I think it will surprise a lot of you. And even most ladies who have seen this that we know and have had in the office have all really liked it and actually been very surprised by it. So as I said, it will probably surprise you as well. Now, when you flip it over, being away inside here is, I have no idea, to be honest with you. It isn't a movement I know and my watchmaker knows, but I believe it's some kind of Unitaz clone. What I mean by that is some company, probably in China, have cloned a Unitaz and this is the result. I mean, it looks nice enough. I don't really know what else to say. There you go. It seems to run for quite a while. You're looking at about 2 days of runtime, just over 2 days, nearly 3 days. So they've done something right with it, that's for sure. But what, I have no idea. But let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions because it is a big watch. And here we go. This dwarfs my wrist. It really does. This is 46mm by 52mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick and 26mm lugs. Interesting design, interesting look. For the money, it is very, very cool. Any more than what we're asking, I think it is a bit silly, but it is a very cool watch for the price, so go check it out. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop. As always, a varied drop, and I suspect there'll be something here for you at all price ranges, and that's what we're trying to do here at Kibble Watches. This new office space we're working on, we're going to continue this same level of variety and diversity in stock. We're just going to have a better place to be able to showcase these watches to you guys and girls, and give you a better, more tailored experience, because right now we do absolutely everything we can in this space, and it's worked and served us so well for the growing parts of the business. But now we're ready to take that next step. It's exciting, it's terrifying, it's all these things all in one. I think it's the right step, and I think it's going to make a big difference. So I want to thank you all for your support over these years. It's been one hell of a journey, and one that hopefully one day I'll be able to do a proper video discussing how all this came about, because some of you are relatively new, some of you have been around since day one. I think a lot of people know certain parts of the story, but it would just be great to sort of finalize that. So there you have it. That's the big news for those of you who watch these videos. But anyway, keep safe out there, keep well. There is a lot of craziness going on in the world with the weather at the moment, so please just be careful. And we will see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.